I'd love to hear you talk about because you talked about going to Nashville and kind of talking to people about writing with you. Is this the part of your life when you meet Curtis Wright?
Yes, absolutely. He's one of those people that I met in a bar, a songwriter hangout, that gave me the time of day. That was the hardest thing, and I didn't know who he was. I had a little hit list that I'd made of 10 writers that I'd like to try to get with. And I got with a few of them. Bill Lloyd, from Foster and Lloyd, who I guess I've already mentioned that I love them. And Mike, oh my God, his name just went in one. He wrote one of the most beautiful songs ever written. I Can't Make You Love Me. Mike, okay. Uh, we'll Google it. And but you know who I'm talking about. But there were some people that gave me the time of day, and some people that I know they had no
Mike
reason
Reed.
to.
It was Mike Reed.
Mike Reed, oh my God, that guy was so nice. He wouldn't write with me though. He said, "I'll sit with you and talk," and we talked, and I really thought that was of incredible value because I was always like, "Let's go, let's go, let's do it, let's do it, let's write 4 songs today,"
Mm.
and I had to learn to slow down. But Curtis, um, yeah, we this is something I learned from writing that song. So I wrote most of it in New Hampshire before I ever met Curtis. I was going down a dirt road near a house that my brother still owns up way up in New Hampshire, in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, and this pickup truck went past me, kicking up dust. I was on a run,
Mm.
and the girl in the truck was there was a girl and a boy. The girl was squeezed up right next to the boy, in this truck, and I was like thinking about bench seats. Weren't those nice? Because it's like having a couch
Mm-hmm.
in your car. You mean that's way after your time? So, anyway, I mean it's before your time.
I remember bench seats. Don't get me wrong.
So,
Yeah, I
so, so
remember.
So the truck goes by and I'm running. So I'm running. There's a beat to that comes from the running. And I start going, just riding down the road in my pickup truck. Better get ready because I'm just, making up shit sorry,
No, you're
as we
fine.
go.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
say. Yeah,
So
that's fine.
I'm making up shit as I go. And I'm just like, but now I think, oh my God, this is cool. I like this. And remember, I wanted to start writing country music. I had been dabbling in it, but now I was like serious about it. So um, I still have a tape of getting home from the run and singing everything I had into one of those little mini cassette recorders,
Yep.
right? And then I was I Curtis said, "Cool, let's write, let's write." So I was at his house writing, and we were watching football while we wrote. So it was a Sunday, and I remember we had finished 2 songs. I mean, we finished one. Then he's like, "You want to write another one?" I'm like, "Sure." What else you got? I'm like, "I got this little bit here, blah blah." Oh, hey, hey. And we just found it really easy to write with each other. And then it was halftime. It was the New York Giants who won the team. I just remember this, and I think there's no way we're doing any more. We're gonna have a few beers and chill out. But he goes, "You got anything else?" And I was like, "Well, I got this thing. Here, let me play it for you." And I played him the first verse and the chorus. And then he goes, "How about barbecue chicken in aluminum foil? Just enough money for my gas and oil." I was like, what does that mean? He goes, "Well, when you buy chicken and you're going to go fishing and you put it on the manifold on the engine, and then you wrap, in tin foil, and when you get there, it's all done." And I'm like, "See, now I got a lot to learn about country because that is country."
Yeah.
And we finished that up, and that song was number one the week we moved to Nashville. So I came down a little ahead of my rest of my family, which was only my 2 sons at the time, and got closed on the house. Went and picked them up at the airport. Took them from the airport to a Wendy's to clean the chocolate off their faces, whatever they had, from the plane ride. Took them to the number one party, which
Wow.
back then was a big deal. They had TV cameras,
Yeah.
and Shenandoah was there, and my wife was like, "Well, it's not bad. That's a good way to start."
So was that the
And it was,
impetus for the move? That song? Was that the reason y'all
no,
were
no.
moving?
So we were. See, I had already. She did not want to move to Nashville,
Yeah.
and but I I had said I think my we tried to get this record deal, get this record we made. No one's interested, and I think we need to move to Nashville and just for 5 years we'll just get there and I'll get to know everybody and all that. And so she finally agreed to do it, and so that was just happened to be. So everything else happened sort of like that's a year went by before we actually landed in Nashville for our first week as a family. And in that year, things were going really fast for me. And that song got written, recorded, and went to #1 all within that year.
Yeah.
So it was pretty remarkable. And it really head spinning, like, wow.
So this was 1990, and that was a #1. And then you had "What's It to You" was also a #1 that year, right?
No, I think that was more like, it might have been 93, 95. I'm not really
Oh,
sure.
you're right. It was not. Yeah, 1993. Yeah, you're right. It was
Yeah,
93.
and Curtis and I really like, and I say like, I'd love to still write another song. We haven't written in many years, but of course I haven't written with anybody in many years. But uh, we love to find titles that were sounded negative and turn them into positives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's it to you? Like I asked him, I said, "You got an idea?" And he said, "What's it to you?" And I was like, "What's it to you? How so?" Like, "What's it to you?" I mean, he was saying it as a wise guy.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
was like, "Wait a
It
minute."
sounds like a wise guy song. Yeah.
Oh, no, we had so many songs called, oh my gosh, I wish I could make a list of them. We would just try to just come up with negative things that could be positive songs. And we did a bunch of them. Most of them didn't get cut. But
Well, once
what's
you got
funny,
to Nashville, things kind of moved very quickly for you. I'm seeing. You had some cuts, Shenandoah being one of them. You get your record deal in '91, which is a solo deal, and
now think about this. Think about this. My publisher is BMG,
mhm.
and they say we need to have a party, and I'm like, another one. There's been so many I mean, it's crazy how many parties they would have for these #1s back then. They said, no, what we want to do is, since you've had a #1 song, we want to put on a showcase at the Bluebird where you're going to rehearse with a band for a week, and you're going to play your songs live. And we're not going in with a cassette or CD, whatever it was back then. And I was like, so I get to play. I get to spend a week at SIR and rehearsing with a
Wow.
with a band with a pedal steel player in it. It was like a dream come true for me. I couldn't believe it. Pedal steel's always one of my favorite instruments. So we did the show, and I was nervous as all get out because they told me, oh, we got everybody here. Everybody's here. And I'm like, don't tell me that. Just, let me go on. Just let me go on stupid and not know. But anyway, I got a call the next day from Josh Leo, who was the head of A&R at RCA, and he said, I need you to come down to Master Phonics. I'm working on Alabama down here, and just like, let's have a quick chat. I did. And he goes, I want to work with you. Now, at this time, I'd given up on my performing career. I just wanted to produce records and write songs
And
and
write
produce
songs.
records.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm the dummy that looked at him and said, "Who's the artist?" And he said, "You're the artist." And I was like, "Oh yeah, well, yeah, I'm the artist." And I was like shell shocked. I went home and told my wife, and I said, "Honey, I got a record deal." And she went, "I got chicken on the grill. I'll be right back. Can you unload the dishwasher?" And I'm like, "Okay." But I swear to God, that's all true. And I was just like, all right. I didn't tell RCA that I was already maybe a million in the hole. And they did come back to me and said, "You never told us that you've made 3 albums for RCA." And I'm like, "Does that matter? I mean, this is different,
Yeah.
right?" And this was the sweetest thing any record executive ever said to me was, "Well, the head of legal affairs says it'll give us a chance to redeem ourselves." And
Nice.
yeah, it was a really sweet thing to say. So, yeah, again, I feel like I fell into it.